Good morning. It's 7:31 in the UK, and this is Rouser Radio, broadcasting out of the White Hart Hotel in Lewes, East Sussex. A day much like yesterday, about 23, 24 degrees, a light breeze, rather pleasant, a little bit of cloud. No chance of rain until about 8 o'clock tonight, and even then very little. Welcome to Rouser, welcome to Lewes, welcome to another day. I managed to even get my coffee poured. And we were 2 minutes late on the air this morning. And the reason was not because anything had gone wrong, touch wood, so far, but the delightful Jane was here, and she always has everything laid out for me. She's absolutely wonderful, but she's a lovely lady to chat to. And we got chatting about a whole host of things, and the time skipped me by. And what a wonderful way to start a day, chatting to a lady like Jane. And if you come into the White Hart, that's who you're greeted by. Jane at the front desk. Lovely, lovely lady. Worth just coming in to say hello, if nothing else. Mind you, there is something else. Mirador TV broadcasts from 8:30 to 11:30 each day from the bar in the hotel, nice and high profile, and we get lots of different people. And all in all, it makes a very nice occasion. So, there we are, right out of the White Hart Hotel, and into the vagaries of another day. That other day is Tuesday, the 26th of July, in the year 2022. And I'm happy to say that there's only one of those little things that's going to pop up, so let's do away with it, shall we? We'll clear all, and then say clear off. Right you are. We'll go to the newspaper headlines in a moment, but let's just ease into the day, shall we? How about Zulu for Mini Vandals? I like the Mini Vandals. there we are, the mini vandals. If that doesn't jig you out of bed, nothing will. Oh, ho, ho. Rather nice. Trips along. Excuse me while I have my biscuit. Can't get anywhere without my morning biscuit. And since it's a nice day, or this is going to be another nice day, I shall trim that with avoiding the early morning glass of champagne. We'll do without that this morning. Jane and I were just talking about cigarettes and giving it up and how difficult it is. And I have to say that when I was in Northern Ireland at the height of the Troubles, in the it was the end of the 1970s, and I was chuffing them away as if they were going out of style. And I knew then that I had to do something, otherwise I was going to kill myself. And I stopped. I cold turkeyed on New Year's Day in 1980, and I haven't touched a cigarette since. I had to declare myself a smokeaholic, and today, if anybody's smoking around me, the whiff of the smoke just makes me go, oh gosh, I did enjoy all that. But thank God, I seem to be strong-willed enough to actually not go back. Oh, I hope so. Uh, well, I'm well into my age now, so I suppose that I can last it unless I get the head staggers. But then again, people at my age do get the head staggers. How old am I, you say? I'm not going to tell you. It's over 35. The Times. Bitter Tory rivals get personal. Aha! Right, because they are lightweights. Their own personal needs and their own personal views and their own personal whatevers always get in the way of the greater good. They cannot find that wonderful asset which most of our forebears had, of a sense of duty. A sense of duty has gone out of our society. And it would be interesting to see how we can prosper and how richer we can become in all aspects if we just brought back a sense of duty. The first televised head-to-head debate between Prime Ministerial hopefuls Rishi Sunak and Liz Truss dominate the papers. The Times says that despite calls from Tory grandees for an end to blue-on-blue hostilities, the debate saw the contest descend further into acrimony as the two clashed over the economy, their backgrounds, and their records on Brexit. Boom, diddy, boom, diddy, boom, doom, doom. Right. And actually, I caught a wee bit of it. I couldn't watch much more. They were obviously going to tear one another's hair out. The Guardian. Tory leadership rivals trade blows over tax and inflation. The Guardian says that tax cuts and inflation emerged as the key topics of the evening as the duo clashed repeatedly over their plans. The paper highlights Mr. Sunak's wording that Ms. Truss is offering a short-term sugar rush with her immediate tax cut plan, while Ms. Truss criticises the former Chancellor for the levels taxes reached under his time in office. Boom, dibby, boom, dibby, boom. The Daily Express, the Great Divide, tax cuts now or later. The Express tends to be the government newspaper, the establishment newspaper right now. And the choice between the candidates boils down to one simple question, says the paper. Tax cuts now or later. The Metro, blue-on-blue warfare. You'll lose us the next election. The Metro says the tone of the debate amounted to blue-on-blue warfare between the two Conservatives, with its heading, You'll lose us the next election, summing up Mr. Sunak's attack on how he predicts Ms. Truss's plans will unravel. The Daily Telegraph. Prime Minister Sunak would be a new Gordon Brown, claims Truss. Aha, 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 aha. In return, Liz Truss likened Mr Sunak's reluctance to cut taxes to the approach taken by Labour's former Chancellor turned PM Gordon Brown. And this is highlighted in the Daily Telegraph's headline. The headline is PM Sunak would be a new Gordon Brown, claims Truss. The Daily Mail, Truss vow to curb militant unions. Well, that's welcome news. Whoever offers that. The Daily Mail leads with a vow by Ms Truss to stop militant action from trade unions from trying to paralyse the economy. It says she wants to raise the minimum threshold of support for strike action and double the required notice period to 4 weeks. It adds that Mr Sunak has also indicated he would take a tougher stance on the unions. Well, can't say that I don't go along with that. They're pretty formidable foes, though. By golly, they are. The Eye, gloves are off. The Tory contest is turning nasty. The gloves are off, says the Eye. The paper quotes Conservative MPs calling Mr Sunak and Miss Truss attacks on each other puerile and shameful, and carries a warning from Tory grandees that the party is at risk of a return to being known as the Nasty Party. Financial Times. What's its headline? Fears of European gas crisis mount as Russia cuts Nord Stream flows. Well, what the hell do you expect them to do? The Financial Times reports that Russia will cut gas supplies through its target pipeline to Germany, Nord Stream 1, to a fifth of capacity this week. The paper says the move would leave Europe short of critical gas supplies ahead of winter, and combining with rising inflation could up the German economy into recession, could tip the German economy into recession. It's a fair old warning. The Daily Mirror, kids sold deadly lives. It leaves the fighting, the knifing in the back and the front of the Tory debate to the fact that a 16-year-old working undercover with the Daily Mirror was able to legally buy knives in 15 of 23 stores she visited. And a picture shows the young shopper posing with a haul of large kitchen knives. All right, the Daily Star. We love the Daily Star. No shiz, Sherlock, it says. What the hell's that all about? The Daily Star has its tongue firmly in its cheek as it reports on groundbreaking research showing that police patrols can cut violent crime by 70%. The headline reads, "No shiz, Sherlock." Now, I don't know whether that report, that research is true, or whether it's just something made up by the Star. Difficult to tell. It says, after extensive research, experts reveal that police patrols could reduce crime. The Sun. Ron his way. The Sun is, it's got a funny editorial policy. It keeps on avoiding anything to do with things that may affect our way of life, or politics, or whatever, government. It always looks for other stuff. The Sun is the Sun, I suppose. The Sun says that Manchester United star Cristiano Ronaldo, God, I keep on hearing so much about this guy, is on his way to Manchester to demand to be allowed to leave the club. The paper says it comes after a pre-season tour which Ronaldo missed, citing family reasons. Oh dear. I mean, I know the name. I don't know much about the player. Somebody's going to say, God's sake, he's one of the best players ever in the world. So, I'm much more concerned about inflation. I'm much more concerned about the war in Ukraine. I'm much more concerned about the cost of living. I'm much more concerned about energy prices and this latest effort by Russia to hold us all to ransom by cutting off or reducing the amount of gas that they'll carry through their pipelines. So it really is down to an economic war as well as a military war. Boom, boom. Aha. Right. Your love, young Logos. Well, that's sort of gentle, isn't it? But rather nice at this hour of the morning. I'm just looking at the back pages to see whether we could get any joy from there. The fans have been urged to roar the Lionesses to victory, and it's they play Sweden. I think it must be tonight, and at 8 p.m. right on BBC One, England versus Sweden in the quarterfinal of the Euros, and they've done very well so far, the girls. So yes, let's give them all the support that we can. And I must say that women's football and other things, actually rugby and so on, are coming along very well. The barriers are coming down from men being hostile to watching them, and there is some good stuff coming out of the ladies for our sports. In fact, even on the track, we got a silver medal in the 800 meters, I think it was, from a lady, and so it provides. And young Max has just walked in. I suppose he's all full of piss and vinegar and wants to get cracking and do all sorts of things. How are you this morning, young Max?
Good. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. He's okay, but his eyelids are still firmly glued together. He needs time to get cracking. So I'm just looking at the back pages to see whether we've got any joy. I won the last Commonwealth Games on on one leg. Oh, went through agony to grab glory on the Gold Coast in 2019. Now she's looking to bounce back in Birmingham. What does she do? Well, I'll have to get young Max to look at that as one of his first tasks of the day. Uh, we all right. Well, we're doing quite well in the sprints as well. The highs and lows of the World Championships. Whiteman's Golden Run, with Dad Jeff communicating in the stadium and Mum Susan so nervous she couldn't watch. In the stands, Jake Whitman, Whiteman, had the run of his life to show the 1500 meters Goliath, Jobo Ingebrigtsen, I don't follow athletics much more, win gold. Terrific. Mighty McLaughlin making a strong case of being the best female athlete in history. The US star, Cindy McLaughlin, added the world 400-meter hurdle record to her list of achievements. Hudson Smith's heroic rise from 3 years of absolute hell when his physical and mental health sunk to a low. Matthew Hudson Smith, yes, Matthew Hudson Smith, came all the way back to a world championship style podium, winning a brilliant bronze at 400 meters in 44.56 seconds. Few were more delirious or deserving. Right. Okay. Those are the bits from the back pages. The front pages are dear old Liz Truss and Richie Sunak, the lightweights, the best lightweights of the lightweights, let's put it that way, pounding one another to pieces, having a real go, sticking a knife in wherever they can. There'll be no corporate body left to become Prime Minister if they keep up this race. Ah, well, there we go. Politics was always a dirty infighting business, and it's proved to be no different in modern times. One of the things, let me ask you, Max, was the bus full or empty this morning?
It was quite full, actually. Weirdly, it was a double-decker bus this morning, at this time in the morning, which was very unusual.
Right.
I don't know why.
But it was reasonably full.
Yeah, it was.
Right. Well, apparently, one of the London papers yesterday was saying, for God's sake, as a nation, will we please go back to work? Nobody is there. Nothing is being done. Everybody's hanging around. We're all jamming the airports and so on to get away on holiday. And the country is at a standstill and that we can't afford it. And I totally agree. And my own bus this morning was very sparse. About 4 or 5 people who were always on there. One young man, a very nice young man, he always offers, he gets up and gives me his seat. Not that he has to, because the bus is half empty. But he actually works with his laptop on his knees on a bus. I wish I could do that. Can you do that, Max?
I will be soon, yeah.
Oh, he says we will be soon. He can actually work on a laptop with his knees on the bus. That's good, because I should expect him to work on the way home and on the way here and add to his daily output. Right. So, are we in Britain on the way to getting back to some sort of civility and might, if I may say that, because we were always known as Mighty Britain? Or are we a bunch of layabouts, nobody wanting to go to work anymore? We all knew things were going to be different after COVID. Are they so different that it is startling and frightening? Yesterday, of course, one of the stories that we highlighted from the front pages was that there are apparently gaps for 20,000 doctors and 50,000 nurses, midwives, and support workers in the NHS. That's an awful lot of people. And those people who tried to brave it on Brexit have got another thing coming. The problem is far deeper than that. I think it's basically that people haven't got used anymore to getting out of bed in the morning. Well, I'll tell you, you've got 2 young guys here. Well, he's not so young, but I am. And we get out of bed at 5 o'clock in the morning to come to work. And what we're paid is a pittance, absolute pittance. In fact, he's paid more than I am. But we do it because of our ethical stance towards work. But also, if we weren't here, you wouldn't have this radio station. you wouldn't have this television station. And more of you are beginning to pick us up and listen to us and watch us and make comments, I may say. So uh, uh, that's the sort of thing is if you don't get out of bed, it can be the result. Woo! You're flying this morning, Keith. You're flying this morning. What time is it? Let's see. It's 7:59. 7:59. Almost the magical turn to 8 o'clock, and to keep us going. Yeah. Shall we? Oh, let's see. A kind of a party of mini battles. I like this one. There we are. Uh, a kind of a party for the mini battles. Oh, I just love those mini battles. It's good lively stuff for this hour of the morning. We're just checking on the rail strike, and it is a strike action on 2 days next month. Oh, at East Midlands, thousands of rail workers spanning stars. Well, that's the one to come. But is there a rail strike tomorrow, or is it uh, Thursday? We need to find out, don't we? Indeed, we do, and we are going to. Uh, when are the train strikes this week? Planned rail strike dates. The Let's see. The strike action of the biggest rail strike in the UK in 30 years, which caused chaos on the railways, is the latest strike is expected to include 40,000 workers, including 20,000 from Network Rail and 14 train operating companies. The strikes come as rail passengers are being urged to avoid travelling by train this week due to the rail network being put under significant strain by extreme heat. Network Rail has predicted it's highly likely there will be cancellation delays and last-minute alterations to services on Monday and Tuesday before services return to normal on Wednesday. That seems to me to be an old story. Uh, that's the trouble with looking at the web and doing so uncritically. Is it's all over the place, and it's crazy. Um, I want one single question answered from the web, and can I get it? No. No, I cannot.
I'll look for it.
You
Don't
look
worry.
for it because as far as I'm concerned, is as a news vehicle, the web is absolutely useless because the operators, the people who purportedly use it to put their news services, they don't date things, they don't put them in order. So you can see World War III is about to start when in fact it started last week. God, I would hate to miss that. No, I wouldn't. Just as soon it didn't happen. Right, it is 8:04. It's amazing where the time goes to when you're having fun. And fun we're having this morning, despite the gloom and the doom, as we are in here with a nice day looming outside. Uh, we've got our A team here this morning, and we hope that Fergus Wood will join us on Mirador Television a little later and bring us up to date on the wine industry, what we should be drinking, how we should be drinking it, and what the prospects are for a good crop or a bad crop or vintages in the months and the years to come. Right, okay. Now, this business of the Conservative Party ripping itself apart, it often has in the past. It is full of ambitious people who decide that they know better. And when all those wonderful people who were looking ahead to the future and to the next election decided to dump Boris, they didn't bother to plan. They didn't bother to look ahead, which makes me lack confidence in any of the runners for being the next Prime Minister. If we haven't got a Prime Minister that doesn't look ahead, doesn't plan, and actually doesn't have a nose for what's going to happen under given circumstances, then we are in dire trouble. Because, as I said yesterday, the worry and fear is throughout the world that the Chinese are coming, that they are gearing themselves to taking over countries economically. Yeah, they've still got their eyes on Taiwan. As far as military action is concerned, they always claim that that's part of their territory. But then, I mean, every country in the world has almost got that, and that's always a good excuse. But they are slowly working to the point where, in yesterday's debate, Sunak and Truss were accusing one another of not being aware enough of the threat of the Chinese. And, we get so tied up with the war in Ukraine and the Russians and what's going to happen, and the European Union for that matter, and what a mess that organisation is. Oh, my God. The moment it's under stress, it collapses. Is all me. What's going to happen to Germany? What's going to happen to France? What's happening in Spain? What's happening in Holland? They all talk about European Union. Ha! European nuts. They are not concerned about the organisation corporate. And if it's going to be a union, that's what the individual regions have got to worry about. How they behave as a united front. And they are not united. In fact, you've got many different views on any given topic. And somebody somewhere has got to take that lot by the scruff of the neck. Because the lot that they've got at the moment, and I can't even name them, is doing absolutely no good whatsoever. None whatsoever. 808. We're having great fun this morning. Hope we're getting out of bed. Right. Well, let's go to Jazzy Frenchy. Woo! Oh dear, 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 dear. Caught napping. I was talking to the young man. That Max, he gets me engaged in all sorts of things, and I take my eye off the ball. But anyway, it is now 8:10, so 5 minutes from wishing hour, and it's time for me just to remind you about the news headlines. Not that you really need reminding much, but I shall just run through them. Mostly about the great debate last night. The Times. Bitter Tory rivals get personal. Right, yeah, well, they certainly were that. The Guardian. Tory leadership rivals trade blows over tax and inflation. Indeed, they did. The Daily Express. The Great Divide. Tax cuts now or later. And really, that's really what it boils down to. Is Sunak is saying wait, and Truss is saying let's get with it now. Metro. You'll lose us the next election, say the grandees, because of this personal stuff. Get with it and think of the country and the party. The Daily Telegraph. Prime Minister Sunak will be a new Gordon Brown, claims Truss. Oh, well, there we are. That's some for a conservative. That's a bit of an insult. The Daily Mail. Truss vowed to curb militant unions. They both agreed on that. That was one thing they did agree on. And Truss actually laid out some slightly more detail on her plans. Aye, gloves are off. The Tory contest turning nasty. Well, I guess whoever wins, is the other bloke or the other girl, isn't going to be very high on the list of the